What'll happen is when all else fails, they take you to war. And that's my greatest concern.
With China?
Oh, China, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, China, Americans couldn't beat Iraqis or the Afghanistans. You know, they're going to beat China. Nobody's going to beat China.
Okay, so who are you
China wipe out the world. I don't know what the war will be. You know, people forget that prior to 9/11, the dot-com bust happened. We forecasted in our magazine, the Trends Journal, the October 1999 issue, dot-com bust by the second quarter of 2000. Boop, busted March of 2000. Bush gets elected. He takes office in 2020, in 2001. The NASDAQ was down 66%. We're in a deep recession. All of a sudden, whoop, 9/11, Afghan war. Boom, everybody forgot about it. Then they had the big phony real estate bubble. Same thing's going to happen. This economy, the global economy, is going to crash so hard like we've never seen before. When all else fails, they take you to war, whatever country it might be, whoever they started against. Go back, look what's going on in Turkey right now. Erdogan is way down in the polls. Every time he goes down in the polls, he does something to start something. Inflation skyrocketing. The lira is at an all-time low. He'll get them people's minds off and starting something with Syria, going after the Kurds, whatever he may invent. Whatever they invent, they'll invent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my greatest concern. Because this war, you mentioned China, when they asked Albert Einstein, a little guy that knew a little bit about, the atomic bomb, what weapons will be used to fight the Third World War, they asked him. He said, I don't know. But they'll be using sticks and stones to fight the fourth. Well, that's my greatest concern.
Thanks, Mr. Cheerful. Yeah, but I'm with you. I'm with you. I think that could be a very plausible next step.
They do it all the time.
So
every time economies go down, go back to World War One.
Okay.
Go back to World War II. Oh, what World War II followed the Great Depression? Oh, you son of a gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So apart from buying gold and crypto, what can we do to prepare for all this?
Get in the best shape you can, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. You're in the fight for your life. And become self-sufficient as much as you can. Yeah. And prepare for the worst. You prepare for the worst. If the worst didn't happen and you prepared for it, you lost nothing.
Yeah.
If the worst happens and you're not prepared for it, you could lose everything. Yeah. I'm going to tell you a quick story before we go. 9/11 happens. I'm watching the news, CNBC. The guy goes, well, they say a plane hit the World Trade Center, but, let's not go overboard on this. We're going to go down there and we'll be back in a little bit. Boop, they flash down to World Trade Center. The reporter's down there. And I'm watching it. Perfectly beautiful day out. And I used to do a lot of hot air ballooning in those days. So I know heights and, flying. I said, how the hell did a plane hit it on a day like today? If anything hit that thing, it was on purpose. This is going in my mind. I'm watching the thing, all of a sudden, whoo, you see that thing happen. Boom. First thing I did, I picked up the telephone and I called my girlfriend at the time. I was living in Rhinebeck, New York, which is right across the river here from Kingston, Marie-Pierre. And Marie-Pierre's brother, Francois, was the left shoulder of Jacques Chirac and Mitterrand. And my close combat teachers used to go out to Palais Élysée and work out with these guys. I called Marie-Pierre up. She lived in a place called Tivoli, not far from me. I said, Marie-Pierre, plane just hit the World Trade Center. Go to the bank and get your money out of the bank. Gerald, you're kidding. I said, no, I'm not kidding. Get your money out of the bank. They say the planes are going down the Hudson River. I know this inside out the Hudson River. There's a thing called Indian Point, which is a nuclear power plant. That's about 40 miles, 35 miles north of New York City. Say they're going down the Hudson River. If this thing hits that nuclear power plant, poof, We're going to see chaos like we've never seen in our lives. I had my money in CDs in those days. Used to get interest on your money before the banksters gave you zero and negative interest rate policy. And I called the guy up, and it was in a bank. I said, I want my money transferred to the Rhinebeck Bank. The guy said, I'm sorry, Mr. Celente, Wall Street is closed and certificates of deposit are traded on Wall Street. Got it. I go to the bank. In those days, I had my gold in safety deposit box, which I don't do anymore. I have it in another location, far from where I am, but close enough to get it. And I take my gold, went to the gas station, bought Jerry jugs, filled them up, the gas jugs, 5 gallons, piled them in my car, got my gun, gold, and a getaway plan to go to Canada, which is about 4.5 hours from me, to take back routes. They had maps in those days. So that's what I did. I had my guns, gold, and a getaway plan, because if they hit that nuclear power plant, there's going to be chaos like we've never seen before. They're going to close down the roads, not let anybody escape out of the main roads. So I'm taking the back roads. I packed one little thing up my back with winter, silkwear, because in case it got cold at night, it was still September. Again, the guns, gold, and a getaway plan. Well, everybody's freaking out about 9/11. I knew something like this was going to happen. I was prepared for it.
Yeah.
So I lost nothing by being prepared. If the worst happened and you weren't prepared, you lose everything.
Yeah. Before we go, I want to ask you one last question. You mentioned at the beginning about the demonic element to all this. You said you didn't know whether it was demonic. I mean, are you a religious man? Because the events of the last 18 months have turned me much closer to God. I understand that this is a battle between good and evil, and that ultimately God's going to save us. Where are you on that?
I absolutely pray to God to direct me, help me. And this wonderful woman, Eve, that passed away recently, used to talk to me about that all the time and send me things. So yes, I believe in the much higher spirits, and I ask them for guidance. As far as traditional religions, not the Catholic Church. To me, as a guy that grew up Catholic, it's a disgrace.
Yeah,
it's
especially the current Pope, who is a joke. I mean, he's definitely
they're a disgrace.
Yeah.
And again, what the nuns did to me, what the priests are doing, oh, Christ would have loved it, huh? Yeah, Christ would have loved you beating up kids and screwing them up. Riots. So no, the religions, name the religion, I have no faith in any of them. I believe in the higher level of what their gods they believed in, taught, not what the traditional establishment ones tell us to do. Sure. But I definitely believe is much higher. And I pray for God's help every day to guide me and direct me.